We start this month with a huge Cyber Monday, and we're also celebrating the launch of brand new programs over at Synchronicity University, which includes legendary astrologers like Maurice Fernandez and legends in the making like Key Taylor and Sabrina Monarch, and so much more. All those links are below. It'll be a great month. Enjoy. Hello, fabulous superstar Scorpio. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of December 2024. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. It is a remarkable astrological month, without a doubt. Big moves happening in the sky now. Boys, at a very special time. And it truly is so special now. Powerful energies are with us. And this is a huge astrological month for a whole bunch of reasons, but you add them up and it's like the universe setting the stage for a sense of new beginnings all around, amplified by the fact that we are on the precipice of a brand new big year ahead. It is going to be this month that we start the month and end the month on a new moon. It is rare to have two new moons in any given calendar month, but here we are, emphasizing new beginnings all around. You add to this major planets shifting directions, and well, there's a lot to talk about here. So let me start with the first of the month. That is when we are going to have a new moon. And this new moon is going to take place in a financial part of your sky, having to do with money you earn, money you spend, self-love and self-esteem are covered here. Now, it is this part of the sky that speaks to a sense of your connection with an energy of prosperity and abundance, how you define it and how you experience it. Now, this new moon is an interesting one because it is, on the one hand, speaking in supreme harmony with your ancient ruling planet, Mars. As we begin this month, Mars is at the height of its power. It will, on the 6th of the month, go retrograde. I'll talk more about that in just a moment, but suffice it to say, there is a part of you that is feeling very strong and very steady with Mars standing still, speaking with this new moon from the very top of your sky. And this part of the sky has to do with career and life purpose and success as you uniquely define it. So you can see this connection does suggest, as a result of what it is that you have achieved, what it is you desire to achieve, and what you believe your purpose might be, there just might be financial opportunity, but it is a beginning. It is a seed moment. But here's the thing, that new moon is also speaking in a conversation of tension with Saturn, and that can be tricky. And that connection can suggest that there's a sense of needing to be honest with yourself, needing to be more grounded as well. In particular, Saturn is in a part of the sky for you that has to do with what you really want in your heart of hearts. It has to do with fun as well. And so where it is that you're trying to attract money or get money together to do something you think would be really fun for you to do, that's where there's an element of needing a more balanced approach, or needing to just be more honest with yourself as to whether or not what it is that you're trying to get the money together for is even going to be worth it to you. But outside of that, I will say that this can also suggest, especially with that placement of Saturn, if it is that you are someone who has already turned a passion into an entrepreneurial endeavor, or that's something that you desire to do, well, this is where you are looking at what you need to do to make it financially feasible for yourself, how you can make the money part of it come together so that it can be a truly prosperous endeavor. There is a matter of what you love, and there is a matter of real practical things you can do. And this new moon just might give you glimpses into what that might look like for you. I want you to consider as well that it is going to be Mercury that is retrograde as we start the month in this same financial part of your sky. And so new opportunities might come, and that's great. The potential for new beginnings could be there. But a more likely scenario is opportunities you thought were gone might in some way come back around. Now, those are the ones that hold greater potential. But for all that, remember, when Mercury's retrograde, it's a good idea not to make big life-altering changes and decisions, at least not just yet. It will be mid-month. that Mercury will go direct and everything could look so different. And I'll talk about that in just a little bit. On the 6th of December, Mars officially goes retro and will go retro at the top of your sky. Now, I know I've been talking to you about this here on my YouTube channel with its own horoscopes, and of course, over on my own website, nadiyashah.com as well. But I'll be here to walk you through this journey every step of the way. For all that, though, this Mars standing still is about you getting in touch with an understanding of your own power to align with the larger goals that you have for your life and to understand all that you can do, but also the limits of what you can do. I always think of Mars retrograde season as an opportunity to truly understand the sacred lesson of the serenity affirmation, right? So the serenity affirmation says, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And so there's so much you can do, as you may feel deeply connected to something you're hoping to achieve. Now, for others, this just could be that there's a goal you're really trying to meet, or maybe you have a deadline that you feel like you're pouring a lot of yourself towards. But for all that, it is going to be this energy that invites you to, in some way, look up, invites you to consider purpose and what that's going to mean for you going forward from here. What's going to be that higher guiding light, and what is a glimpse into a higher, more loving vision for your life set to reveal? Well, you're on a journey now, and part of this Mars retrograde season happening at the top of your sky means that in many ways, as you walk this journey, which will be several months in the making, I'll be here to talk about it every step of the way. Well, you just might come to understand what it is that you believe you're meant to do differently. And as you understand that, it just might come to empower you to align that much more, to give it your all, and to fight for what it is that you feel really could bring that much more connection to some sense of higher purpose for your life. The next day, on the 7th of the month, Neptune goes direct. This is huge. I mean, I think Neptune direct isn't getting nearly as much energy because of that Mars, but look, this is a really big deal. And the fact that these two are happening back to back is huge, because Neptune going direct, I always see this as like being shaken awake, right? Like an alarm clock going off where you didn't even realize you were asleep until you weren't anymore. And it's as if lights come on and everything looks different. Now, that everything either is going to be a jolt that feels so uncertain, or that everything is going to be positively illuminating, encouraging, and exciting. For you, I want you to consider that this is Neptune going direct in a part of the sky for you that Saturn is in. And so its fellow water sign, Pisces, it has to do with what you want in your heart of hearts in every area of life. And that is about to be illuminated for you in some way. And what it is that perhaps you had your heart so set on now might look very different, might look illusionary to you. Or at least you're able to be more honest with yourself about what that just might be. For all that, though, this can be a moment of truly getting that much more clear of what happiness is for you and what you can do to align with it. As lights come on, no matter what the moment itself brings, you are going to move towards a greater sense of aligning with what it is that makes your heart feel that much more alive. And that just might be worth whatever wake up needs to happen. It is on the 15th of the month that we have a full moon. And this full moon is taking place in a part of the sky for you that has to do with change, truth, transformation, regeneration. But it's also the other financial part of the sky. It has to do with ability to access resources. So things like grants, loans, bursaries, and benefits you qualify for. And so having this very strong energy speaks to you needing to pay attention to or feeling more honest about how you really feel around a given matter, so much so that that truth ends up changing something for you in a meaningful way. Now, for some Scorpios, this energy might just work out financially, so you have to pay attention to a matter having to do with like a credit card or a loan that you have. Now, this to me is furthered by a couple of things. One is, it's the same day as the full moon. that Mercury goes direct. And Mercury goes direct in that other financial part of your sky. And so these end up working together in helping you to get clear about what's worth the money and what isn't worth the money. But it might also be a time when, more personally, you're being asked to get honest with yourself about where you are in terms of self-love. That's what the Mercury direct is going to show you. But the full moon energy is going to invite you to consider what it is now that you're ready to change, that you need to change, so that you can move in a direction where you are feeling that much more connected to something that feels more authentic and ultimately more loving as well. Where you haven't been true to yourself, the awareness around that might stir very strongly under the light of this full moon. This full moon is going to be close in the sky to Jupiter. So there is hope happening at this time. There's healing at this time. There's potential and there could be opportunity as well, especially financial. But we have Saturn and Neptune both squaring this full moon. And that can bring with it an overall energy of malaise, of disillusionment, but also of needing to be more real with yourself, needing to be more practical, even if it's hard. Now, that practicality, that realness just might be around where you haven't been truly you. That's ultimately a matter having to do with your soul's journey, but it could also relate to some literal matters as well. It's about understanding what you give and what you get, and how you feel about that balance, and where it is that you feel certain connections with others, certain circumstances in your life are being true to yourself, that they're worth what you're giving, and where it is that you feel that that isn't the case. Well, this is where you get honest with yourself about that. The healing energy means that you're moving in the right direction. That ultimately does bring you into alignment with more healing, more hope, more positive change, and possibly more resources, more wealth as well, as you uniquely define it. We end the month on a new moon. On the 30th actually is when we're going to have our second new moon this month. This amplifies new beginnings happening at this time. Now that new moon is speaking in harmony with Saturn. I love this energy compared to, the other lunar events this month that can feel a bit like a roller coaster. That new moon energy we end the month with is decidedly steady, and it allows a feeling of new beginnings that much more. Now for you, this is a new moon in a part of the sky for you that has to do with mind, communication, conversation, perception, understanding. But it also has to do with the siblings, cousins, and neighbors in your life. And so it could be at this time that there are new connections being made with these types of people, or it could just be that they are making some choices that allow them a sense of new beginnings, and you feel like this is the right thing, this is a steady thing, and it feels good that this is taking place. But of course, this energy could be a lot more personal to you as well. If it is that you are wanting to understand, wanting to be open to, wanting to connect to ideas that you find fulfilling, maybe what you're curious about, maybe taking a workshop or, attending a book signing or other event that involves healthy networking, casual networking in particular. Well, it's those types of environments and situations that can end up feeling as if they create steady progress for you. In having key conversations, you feel like you are moving more towards those very things that you might feel in your heart that you're really wanting in all kinds of ways, personally and professionally. Now, where it comes to matters of love, I'm going back to that Neptune because I think Neptune is going to be the very big news in the context of love for the Scorpios out there. Neptune going direct in a part of the sky that, in addition to what I mentioned, also has to do with romance, flirtation, and what love is for you. I feel as if what you think it is and what it actually is might be very different. There's this light bulb going on in the context of what's happening in your dating life, what's happening in terms of how loved you feel. And your realizations will surprise you, but they just might be very all or nothing as well. And what I mean by that is either what you see makes you realize how much love is here, could be here, or it makes you see, you know what, I thought there was love here, but there really isn't. Now, either is okay. For those of you open to meeting someone new, I do think you're likely to have a flirtation that ends up being consequential in some way. Now, ultimately, that is a consequentialness that invites you to look at what you believe about love, and where it is that perhaps a more grounded approach is going to help you. I see that this is getting very swept up in a moment, swept up off your feet. This is heightened fantasy energy until you wake right up. And that could be directed towards somebody brand spanking new now. Like you don't even know this person, and a lot of projection is being placed on them. It is only once Neptune goes forward that you'll be able to have a more balanced perspective as to what could be here with someone new that you might meet. And again, it could just be a flirtation, but it is about opening your heart to greater love than you've known before, whether or not it's with this specific person. For those of you just starting to date someone, some light bulb is coming on. Some insight is set to be had about how it is that you really feel about this person, what it is that is really going on. And that truth either is going to propel you towards them or it's going to be a deal breaker. I don't think there's a lot of middle ground with Neptune in particular. It's almost as if once those lights come on, you can't unsee what becomes so crystal clear. And up until the lights come on, it's like there's this whole bunch of feelings and emotions and messiness. But once it is you're able to look at that and acknowledge that, it ends up being an important turning point moment for you as part of figuring out whether or not this is somebody that you have genuine interest in navigating forward with. For those of you in an established bond, well, look, the overwhelming majority are going to find this a time when you're able to connect with your partner more deeply, to have an understanding of what love is for you and where it is that you feel your partner can meet you there so that you're able to fulfill each other's needs on a level of heart and romance that much more. And so in that way, this could be very encouraging. However, for a small percent out there, if you have felt for a while that you might not be with the right person for you, I just want to say this could be some emotional ups and downs. This could feel as if there's a bit of a roller coaster here. Now, for some, it's going to be some beautiful romantic gesture that reawakens the connection you have, or it's going to be the realization that whatever illusions you had, that's just not the way that things are, and that might not be okay. Your answers are going to be uniquely your own, but once Neptune goes forward, you can't unsee what you've seen. And that in turn is going to help you to understand what your heart is really wanting and whether or not that could be here. What I love about this month for you, there's so much here. It's a powerful and meaningful astrological moment. I'm going to say I love the energy of, well, I do love Mars at the height of his power, okay? I know Mars is going retrograde. That's not necessarily the best of energies, okay? But for you as a Scorpio, I actually think this is where Mars works that much more in your favor because it allows you to see with greater depth, with greater nuance, and it allows you to go to a deeper level of honesty within yourself. Do you like the higher direction that your life is going? Do you feel like your goals are a compromise, or are they genuinely worthy of you and what you feel that you're called to do? And where it comes to your career, do you feel like you're on the path that feels like you're supposed to be on it or not? Is it just tiring you out? Is it just feeling like a waste of energy? Or is it a place of empowerment when you didn't know you needed it? Now it's here and you're just so grateful for it. Well, your answers are going to be uniquely your own, but there's tremendous fortitude within you now. So direct it towards something worth achieving. Only you can define that. And really, with this powerful Martian energy, you will find yourself reconnecting with the power within that I think you'll love. Well, thank you so much for watching. You can get a video like this each and every week for each and every sign for as low as just $3 a month with Choose Your Membership Rate over at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com or thefutureismagical.com. Now, higher tiers get you things like all access passes to Synchronicity University events, consultations with me, and so much more. All of this in the Superstar space at NadiyaShahSuperstars.com. Links are in the description below. Remember, this is December. We've got lots of giveaways happening over on my website, NadiyaShah.com. and on my social media. So make sure you follow me there. And I look forward to celebrating this last month of December with you. It'll be a great month. Enjoy.